Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to share something simple but very powerful. How I started talking in English from the very first sentence. This is not just advice. This is a true feeling, a real step, and maybe the same step you are waiting for. I remember the moment I spoke my first English sentence. My heart was beating fast. My voice was small, but I said it. It was not perfect, but it was real, and that first sentence changed everything. You don't need many words to start. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need the courage to say something, even if it's just, "Hello, how are you?" That is a beginning. A small start can grow into a big change. In this video, I will tell you how I began, what helped me, and how you can start too. If you are shy, scared, or feel stuck, this is for you. I'll speak slowly with easy words so you can understand and feel every part. You can learn, speak, and grow, just like I did. So let's begin, step by step, one simple sentence at a time. Part 1. The first step is not perfect, but it's powerful. I want to tell you a true story. It is not about a famous person. It is not from a movie. It is from my own life. It is about how I started speaking English, from just one sentence. Maybe you feel the same. You want to speak English. You learn English. You listen. You read. You understand some words. But still, you don't speak. Your mouth stays closed. You are waiting for the right time, waiting to speak perfectly, waiting to feel ready. I was like that too. I was scared. I thought, what if I say something wrong? What if they laugh at me? What if I forget the word? These questions stopped me. Every time I wanted to talk, I stopped myself. I told myself, not now. Maybe later. But later never came. One day, something changed. I was sitting with a friend who spoke English. He looked at me and said, "Try to speak. Just one sentence. Anything." I looked at him. I looked down. My heart was beating fast. But I wanted to try. So I said, "My name is..." That's all. Just that one small line. He smiled. He said, "Good. Now say something more." I said, "I like music." Again, very simple. It was not big. It was not special. But something inside me moved. I felt strong. I felt alive. It was my voice, my English voice. That was the beginning. English is not about big words. It is not about perfect grammar. It is about connection. It is about trying. Even if you only say one line, one simple sentence, that is your start. You do not need to speak fast. You do not need to sound like a native. You just need to be brave enough to speak. When I said my first sentence, I made mistakes. My grammar was wrong. My words were not clear. But no one laughed. No one stopped me. In fact, people helped me. They were kind. They wanted to listen. That day, I learned something very important. People don't want perfect English. They want real English, honest English, English from the heart. And that kind of English starts with just one line. If you are watching this, I know something about you. You are ready. You want to speak. You are looking for that small push, that little fire inside. Let me be honest. You already have enough English to start. Yes, right now. You know how to say hello. You know how to say, how are you? You know how to say, my name is. And that is enough for today. That is enough to begin your journey. Don't wait for more words. Don't wait to feel ready. Start with what you have. When I started, I had only a few words, but I used them again and again. I said them every day. I spoke to myself in the mirror. I practiced while walking. I whispered to myself on the bus. I was shy, but I didn't stop. I want you to understand this. Speaking English is not a test. It's a habit. And like every habit, it starts small. One sentence a day becomes 2. 2 becomes 5. 5 becomes 10. One day you stop counting. You just speak. You don't think. It flows. But to reach that day, you need to take the first step. So, what was my first sentence again? My name is simple, but it changed my life. And your first sentence can change yours. In the next section, I will show you the small things I did every day to build my speaking. No big lessons, no long rules, just small daily steps that helped me grow, one word at a time. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Speak with me, repeat after me, learn with me. This is your safe space. Let's go together. One sentence, one story, one voice. Part 2. Daily Steps to Speak Without Fear. After I said my first sentence, I felt something new. It was a small feeling of pride. I didn't say much, just, my name is, and I like music. But that moment stayed with me. It gave me hope. It gave me power. I realized I didn't have to speak perfect English to be understood. I just had to try. That's how my journey started. From that day, I made a promise to myself. I said, every day, I will speak one sentence in English, no matter what. I started small, very small. I didn't speak in front of many people. I spoke to myself. I looked in the mirror and said, how are you? Or, I am feeling good today. I didn't care if it was simple. I just wanted to use my voice. That's how I built a habit. It was like planting a seed. One sentence a day. Just like water for the seed. Slowly, it grew. After some time, I could say 2 or 3 sentences. I felt more confident. I stopped thinking about grammar. I started focusing on feeling. Every morning I spoke to myself. I said things like, today I will learn something new, or I am happy today. These were my practice lines. They were easy, short, and full of feeling. I was not studying hard grammar rules. I was not memorizing long word lists. I was using English in real life, in a real way, my own way. I also listened to myself. I recorded my voice. I said a few sentences and listened again. At first, I felt shy. I didn't like my voice. I thought, I sound strange in English. But then I realized something important. That voice is mine. That voice is trying. That voice is learning. Slowly, I started loving my English voice. I said more. I smiled more. I repeated my sentences again and again until they became natural. Another thing that helped me was talking to objects. Yes, it sounds funny, but it worked. I looked at a chair and said, "This is a chair. It is brown. I sit on it." I looked at my food and said, "This is rice. It is hot. I will eat it." I made small sentences about everything around me. This made English feel like a part of my daily life. I didn't wait for a teacher or class. My home became my classroom. I didn't stop there. I also asked simple questions. To myself, to others. What is your name? Do you like music? Where are you from? I didn't worry about the answers. I just wanted to ask. Asking gave me courage. Asking helped me learn. Sometimes I made mistakes. Many times. I said wrong words. I forgot things. I felt nervous. But I kept going. I told myself, mistakes are okay. Mistakes mean I am learning. And it was true. Every mistake taught me something new. Every mistake made me stronger. One day I went to a shop. I wanted to speak in English. I was nervous, but I tried. I said, "Hello, I want to buy water." The shopkeeper smiled and gave me water. That moment made me happy. I did it. I spoke English outside, in real life. It was not perfect, but it was real. After that, I wanted more. I started watching videos with subtitles. I repeated the sentences. I copied the tone. I listened to how native speakers spoke. I learned new ways to say old things. I practiced these lines in front of the mirror. I made funny voices. I had fun. That's when I truly understood. Speaking English is not about being serious all the time. It is also about playing, feeling, and enjoying. The more fun I had, the more I spoke. The more I spoke, the more I learned. I didn't feel like I was studying English. I felt like I was living in English. And the best part? I didn't need a big plan. I didn't need perfect grammar. I just needed small steps. One sentence a day. Spoken with heart. Spoken with feeling. I want to remind you, you don't need to wait. You don't need to be perfect. You are already ready. Speak to yourself. Speak to your mirror. Speak to your pet. Speak about your day. Just speak. The words will come. The fear will go. You will grow. Part 3. From small sentences to real conversations. After some weeks of daily speaking, I noticed something beautiful. My fear was getting smaller, and my voice was getting stronger. I was no longer scared of saying something wrong. I didn't care if people thought my English was slow or simple. Because I knew something they didn't, I was improving every day. I was walking forward, one small step at a time, and now I was ready for the next step. Real conversations. At first, I didn't talk for long. I started with short exchanges. A hello to a stranger. A good morning to someone on the street. A how are you to a classmate. These were very short moments, but they were real. And they helped me feel more comfortable with people. Every smile I received gave me more courage. Then I tried to speak longer. When someone asked me, "How are you?" I didn't just say, "I'm fine." I added something more. I said, I'm fine. I'm a little tired today because I studied late last night. These small details made the conversation feel natural. Even if I used basic words, I was expressing real things about myself. That is the goal of language, to connect. I also started using questions, simple, real-life questions. I would ask, "What do you like to do?" Or, "What is your favorite food?" I used the answers to keep talking. If someone said, "I like music," I replied, "Me too. I like soft music." "What kind of music do you like?" It was like a small game. I listened and then I asked more. That's how the conversation kept going. I didn't use difficult grammar. I didn't try to sound like a textbook. I just talked like a real person. I used what I knew. And when I didn't know a word, I used my hands, my face, or other simple words. For example, I didn't know how to say sunglasses at first. So I said, "Glasses for the sun." The other person understood. And then they told me the right word. That's how I learned, by doing, not just by reading. I also started talking about my day. If someone asked me, "What did you do today?" I didn't say, "Nothing." I tried to tell a small story. I said, "I woke up late. I made tea. Then I watched a video in English." It was not a long story, but it was my story, and every time I shared something real, I felt more confident. Another thing that helped me was speaking with myself out loud. When I walked alone, I described things I saw. I said, "The sky is blue. That car is fast. I am going to the market." It felt funny at first, but it worked. It made English feel natural. It was no longer just a subject in school. It became my second language. I also changed the way I thought about mistakes. Before, mistakes made me feel bad. I wanted to avoid them. But now, I see mistakes as friends. Mistakes are not a wall. They are a door to new learning. Every time I said something wrong, someone helped me. And I remembered better because I learned from experience, not from fear. I made speaking part of my daily life. I didn't wait for a big chance. I created small chances every day. I spoke to friends. I spoke to shopkeepers. I even spoke in my dreams. I started thinking in English. Not full sentences, just small thoughts. I'm hungry. This place is cold. That shirt is nice. These thoughts helped me stay in the language, even when I was alone. Then one day, something amazing happened. I had a full conversation, 10 minutes all in English. I talked slowly. I made mistakes, but I didn't stop. And the person I spoke with understood me. We laughed. We connected. That moment was magic. I didn't need perfect English. I needed courage, practice, and my own voice. And that's what I want to give you today, hope and belief. You don't need to wait for the perfect day. Start with what you have. One word, one line, one small step. Speak from the heart. Speak with feeling. Speak like you're talking to a friend. English is not about showing off. It's about sharing. It's about living. If you speak every day, even for just 1 minute, you will grow. Your sentences will grow. Your confidence will grow. And one day, You'll look back and say, I did it. I started from one sentence, and now I can speak. That is your journey, and it begins now. So, open your mouth. Say something small. Say something true. Say something in English, because your first sentence is waiting, and your voice is ready.